Today I'm going to show you what it's like to drive this 2015 BMW 328i, and even with 86,000 miles on it, I'll show you that it's still a fun car to drive while being practical and being an awesome daily driver. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, so we'll start the car up. And first thing to do is put it in sport mode because there is no other way to drive this car. It really makes a big difference. It tightens things up. The ride becomes firmer, but it's more fun that way. The handling becomes better, everything's sharper, more crisp. You don't really want to drive a BMW without sport mode. The comfort mode is there and it does help a little bit, but not nearly as good as just having a more responsive throttle. The car feels faster, it's just more fun. The nice thing about this 328i is, even though BMW states it's 240 horsepower, 255 pound-feet of torque, it really is a little bit underrated because it feels faster. Like right now, I'm not even flooring it all the way, but just like that, I'm quickly up to speed. And that's what makes this practical daily driver just easier to drive, because you're not lagging in power and you can keep up with traffic and pass people on the freeway. It's just much easier to do that. It's not your typical four-door sedan where you're just bogged down and you can't just drive it normally and you can't have it function normally and it can't keep up in traffic. You don't have any of those problems with this car. It feels real sturdy and stable. It's very grounded. It's not like a previous generation BMW. It's not quite as connected, but it still feels good to where you do know that it's a driver's car. As a driver, you feel confident. You feel like you can push the car. You can take it pretty quick around turns. You don't have to have an M3 or an M5 to enjoy the driving experience. You can see how quickly and easily the speed picks up on the freeway. I'm about tapping the throttle maybe halfway through. It's still got plenty of power that I haven't even used. So for normal daily driving and traffic on the freeway, it's pretty adequate, the power that you have at your fingertips. I'm gonna punch it and you'll be able to see what it's like. Just a little bit of wheel spin. The engine doesn't sound bad at all under throttle. The handling of this car is pretty impressive. I'll show you a little bit of what it's like on the twisty bits and how it takes the turns. It's very firm and planted, and you have the confidence going into these turns. And you know, even though it's a daily driver, you could actually take this car and have some fun with it during your work day, during your daily commute, or on the weekends. It can serve multiple purposes. And this is why you would want to get something like this as opposed to a standard four-door sedan, maybe like a Civic or an Accord, which won't give you nearly the amount of thrills, even if it costs something similar. It's a lot of fun to take these turns and just enjoy the capabilities of the car. This is why you'd want to drive a BMW, even though it costs more to maintain and own. If you find a good example of a used one that's been well taken care of, that has had all the maintenance done on it, you can actually enjoy driving it and know that it'll take you from point A to point B and put a smile on your face along the way. And what I'm really telling you at the end of the day is you don't need to spend a ton of money to enjoy driving, to enjoy fun cars, and also have it be super practical for your day-to-day needs. You can do this all on a budget. So hopefully that gives you a taste of what this car is all about. Hope you enjoyed coming along with me on this driving experience. If you happen to be in the market looking for a car like this and that's your budget, I would highly recommend you give this a look. Under $20,000, less, 15, you can go lower. Make sure you find a good example of a used one, the one that's been taken care of, and I'm confident you'll be a happy customer. Okay, I wanted to give you a sense of what it's like when it's darker outside. Traditional BMW red lighting. Of course, these days the new cars have a lot more options with lighting, but on this one, it's an older BMW, so red is what you have. It's early in the morning, so it's peaceful driving out right now. Not that much traffic. Enjoy the empty roads, which is generally pretty rare. I don't push this car pretty hard. It's been driven relatively gently. So that's why these days when I drive it, it doesn't feel that old or beat up. Still composed, drives well, really stable on these sweeping turns. Wow, it's a nice sunrise you have right there. The ride and drive is pretty stable at higher freeway speeds. There's a little bit of road noise and wind noise coming in. And the run flat tires definitely make the road noise a little bit louder. But overall, pretty satisfied with how this car is still driving after all the miles on it and all these years. Whoever gets the car next will be pretty satisfied.